During the last iteration of Marvel Comics for the X-Men, the publisher founded their mutant home called Krakoa. However, our mutants were unable to stop foreign invaders from crashing their island paradise and ended up having to disband the nation. Now, our X-Men characters are scattered across the globe with heroes like Cyclops heading up a brand new team of X-Men at an abandoned Sentinel factory in Merle, Alaska. Elsewhere, Jean Grey, the Phoenix herself, is responding to various distress calls across outer space. My name is Oracle Brannock, and today, let's go ahead and review the second issue of Marvel's Phoenix series. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel. So Phoenix issue 2 is still written by Stephanie Phillips, featuring artwork from Alessandro Miracolo. We have colors from David Curiel, letters from VC's Cory Petit, and the beautiful cover, which I actually featured over on the header for the channel, is still illustrated by Yasmine Putri. I love the visually interesting way that she's able to juxtapose the character of Corsair over with Phoenix manifesting her powers in such a striking and visually dynamic way. Also, want to give a quick thank you to Adventures in Poor Taste and preview some of the interior art on Phoenix 2 coming in from Alessandro Miracolo. First of all, I just want to give a big disclaimer here that across the internet, various websites have detailed the fact that Alessandro Miracolo has seen tracing some images from artists like Olivier Coipel. I was so sad to see this because I've liked so many of just the pages and detail that Miracolo was able to implement in the page, and I just hope that this isn't a trend that we see moving forward. This first page of Phoenix here is so striking as Jean is responding to distress calls across outer space. I'm also loving the way that David Curiel has implemented all this negative space over in the background to just feature so many different pieces of Jean Grey responding to all these various threats. On the next page, readers are finally able to catch up on Jean getting some rest and relaxation here. Jean immediately just wanders her mind and it ends up drifting over to Cyclops. She finds herself missing coffee and just the way that Cyclops was able to move forward with her during Krakoa. This also gives way to Jean responding to her next distress call and previews the character of Corsair. So Corsair is actually the father of both Scott Summers and Havoc, Alex Summers, as well across the tale. And the way that Jean constantly questions whether or not she should trust Corsair's word is so striking, especially as Cyclops himself even tries to give her a warning that Corsair may not have the best intentions across this comic book series. One of my favorite aspects about this current Phoenix series is the really interesting structure that Stephanie Phillips is able to detail from characters like Corsair. Corsair is able to catch Jean up on his mysterious backstory and why he ended up sending out that distress call. In fact, I love the way that Corsair has actually also been implemented within the scope of Marvel's X-Men continuity here. Readers get to see Corsair reference the game world, which was also featured in the main X-Men title as well. Corsair further goes on to explain that he found himself caught up with the mysterious Black Order, a villainous group who also had some recent connections to the character of Thanos that is seemingly striking out from their leader. It's so interesting watching Jean Grey actually fight against some of these characters and detail some of the mysteries that some of these figures hold for future comic book installments. So at the end of the day here, I really think that Marvel Comics Phoenix issue 2 is able to utilize so much of Marvel's intergalactic continuity to build such a rich tapestry of threats for the character of Jean Grey. Plus, I think Adani and Parakis capture so much harrowing back and forth between these two figures and should hopefully usher in some much darker stories for the future of Phoenix. I want to know from you, what are some of your thoughts on Corsair's mysterious presence over in this comic book tale? What did you think about some of the dialogue over between Adani and Parakis? Curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for catching our video review over on Phoenix 2, and we'll be back to see wherever this series is headed in the near future. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.